Hello everybody, this is PartyPedia and welcome to the quick discussion of the new patch. Obviously it is not out yet on the main client, it is out on the test client, and I downloaded the test client less than 7 seconds ago. But we're gonna do stuff with the test client. So the first thing I'd love to talk about is the change for Earthshaker. That was it. Oh, hang on. Forgot free spells. This. You are now with Aghanim Scepter. Earthshaker can jump a 900 range using Enchant Totem. So I guess if you wanted to, you could go Blink Dagger first, or you can go Ags first instead of Scepter, and it's actually justified. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Next, I want to talk about some of the new items. The first being this Blightstone. It's basically like a baby Desolator when you first get it. It applies armor degen, or reduces... It basically is a little Desolator for 8 seconds. And, I mean, I guess since I'm max level, it's going to hit him really hard. But yeah, so it decreases armor by 2, which is obviously very, very small. So... yeah, it's always going to be 2. It's not going to stack, so we're gonna... just going to level him up to max here. There we go. Now we're going to kill him. Oh yeah, so the next item I would like to discuss is this Bloodthorn. It is a, well, now it is sold. It is a addition onto the Orchid Malevolence and a Chrysalis and a recipe. What it does, self-explanatory, it says right there, but actively silences a target and amplifies all damage taken by 30%. And it's all damage. All damage. All attacks on the silenced target will have True Strike and land a crit upon impact. So that means if Axe was actually at full HP...
yes, indeed.
Whoops. Damn it. See, that's my problem, is that I have yet to set my stuff for the test client, because I haven't obviously... I haven't obviously done anything on test client, so we'll test it by throwing that on him, and it looks like he was for sure getting crits. So he is silenced. He still takes that dot damage and causes all incoming attacks to crit for 135. So that means he will always take crit damage. Now, on top of that, whee! That happened. So, let's just keep doing that.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So, that's the first one. The second one I'd like to talk about is the Echo Saber, which is it causes melee attack to attack in a double quick succession. The double attack applies a 6-second, 100% movement attack slow and speed on each strike. Now obviously with Earthshaker that will be a whole new thing, because it's basically like using Weaver's ability, and then with Earthshaker Chant Totem he'll hit twice. I think it has a cooldown, obviously. Yeah, it has a 5-second cooldown, so you heard it hit him twice. So obviously, if you were going Carry Shaker and you had like a Desolator or something like that, then having that ability actually makes sense. So we're gonna jump in here and steal our axes. Leave one behind. So another one I'd like to talk about is this new technical force staff. It is the Hurricane Pike. When used on an enemy, it pushes you both away 450 units and allows you to attack the target without range restrictions. for 4 attacks for a max of 5 seconds. It works like a Force Staff when used on your friends, though, and it passively increases the range of ranged heroes by 130. So, what we're going to do here
Shake things up.
is we're going to Force Staff this axe. Well, I mean, I guess it didn't really matter because I didn't, Okay, I guess I need to be a range hero in order for this to work. But
Your middle tower is under attack.
yeah, so this Force Staff will only work on ranged units. But you can hear me attacking twice. Like, here we go. See? You can see it.
Your middle
So
tower is under attack.
these new icons and new abilities, plus Earthshaker, can now bounce on top of enemies. Some of the bigger headlights of the patch. So, those are some of the new items. New are the smaller items. New items that were smaller, obviously, was that. And then the Wind Lance gives you increased move speed. And that's its passive, is also move speed. They're probably going to change that description soon. So, yeah, sorry, I just wanted to do that so bad. So those are the items. One of the newer items is also Tome of Knowledge, which, since I'm not going to get to 10 minutes in the game, I won't be using it. So what Tome of Knowledge does, it increases your experience by 425 at minute 10 and has recharges of very, very slow. So that is the end for Earthshaker's little intro here. Then we'll go to some of the bigger changes on some of the newer, higher tier heroes of this meta. Arc Warden being one of the current ones. Something that's going to be sad for all Arc Warden players. And we will show you what it is. We will show you what it is.
Prepare for battle.
Blink, dagger, ethereal blade.
We need anything that's activated. Alright, so the first thing I'd love to show you is this. And then, oh no, I'm wrong. Well, I thought when it said you couldn't do this thing, well, okay, never mind guys, I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. I thought there was something that they said was turned off for this. I thought they turned off your Tempest Double being able to have refresh.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Huh. Oh well, that's that then. Oh nope, there it is. So if I'm on cooldown, he'll have. Oh wait, that's cooldown from the last Zet. Oh, see, now that's the thing. That's the new change. If your previous Zet had full cooldowns, it too will have full cooldowns. So, well, I guess we'll just wait for creeps to spawn or something, or so, that's that, and then if we use my Zet again, his items will be on cooldown. So Zet, the second Zet, has his own cooldowns in comparative to his first cooldowns. So they share cooldowns now. It's not a whole new Zet every time. So that's the changes with Arc Warden. So obviously he's going to be switching from the Midas and like the E-Blade and all that crazy stuff. He's going to be switching from using that stuff this meta, and next meta he'll probably be using more actual situational items. Not to mention, a lot of his spells became dispellable now in this meta. So, but yeah, look at, I can't use any of his stuff here. So the Zet changes are not good for Zet, at least.
Stand firm.
So that's the changes to Zet, the Arc Warden. His abilities now share cooldowns with his Tempest Double. So all you Zet players, I'm sorry, he's not part of the game anymore.
Must be achieved.
Well, I mean, you'll probably still play him, but like, probably not.
It is not
So,
yet.
yep.
Guard this.
Sorry, Zet players, but Zet is no longer on the menu.
Must proceed.
Alright, so that's the end of Zet, the Arc Warden. His changes, both good and bad. Counter Helix for Axe is now pure. I guess we could start like scrolling through heroes, and then we'll talk about ones that got specific deafening changes. So, Axe, his spin is now pure, and pierces spell immunity. Bane, I don't think he got anything. He got Enfeeble Mana Reducement. Bloodseeker now has an Axe. We'll go to his character and use up his Axe. Oh yeah, another thing is towers offer armor now. So, if only the Fountain would actually do that. The Fountain would be nice to give us that kind of stuff as well. So, we are going to go... Bloodseeker was given an Axe that allows him to have 2 Rupture charges. He has 2 charges that both recharge at the level of 40. So in which case, I mean, I can't even have my free spell things give me back my spell. I have to wait till it cools down. So, that was one of the changes with Bloodseeker, is he now has an Aghanim Scepter that gives him 2 more charges. Bounty Hunter is just increased Shadow Walk. Earth Spirits, or Brew Spirit's Earth Spirit, now has basically Demolish, which I believe... I didn't actually read it, so we're gonna see what it does. Oh yeah, it deals 150% damage to buildings. So, if we take Earth Panda here, it'll deal more damage to buildings. It's obviously not that obvious that you can't see it like right off the get-go here. So... obviously, you're not going to be able to see it right off the get-go. So, that was the change with Brew. Again, his change, not really much of one that's going to affect Brew Spirit that much. So, Brew, still pretty much a good hero when people play it. Shen's creeps can't get healed completely by his ultimate. Death Prophet's Siphon was changed a lot. Not really too much. The Aghanim Scepter on Shaker. Faceless Void. Time Walk was increased. Scepter doesn't increase Chrono Duration. Which, that's actually something I want to look at. What did it do originally? Oh, it just decreases the cooldown. Okay, so that just makes it more viable, basically. Gyrocopter has a new scepter, which means he does no longer have global... he does not have global cooldown, which is kind of annoying. I really liked global cooldown. But, we'll check it out here. It said it added a phantom shooter.
Prepare for battle.
See, now I'm not shooting. So this is that second gunner that's shooting right now. So, something I guess you could probably build with this new gyro build is going into the Echo Blade, into, I mean, probably Bloodthorn. I don't know. And then a bunch of crits. See, now I'm not even shooting. It's shooting. So that's something new, is that he'll have a passive shooter. Basically, he'll always have projectiles to shoot. On top of that, I just thought about this. Will this trigger double flat cannon? It does not trigger double flat cannon, everybody. It does not trigger double flat cannon. Alright, so that was the change with the Gyrocopter. Cropter. A lot of small things changed with Invoker involving his spells. Not really too much. Kunka's got a different sort of setup with his stun now. Keeper of the Light has increased movement speed. He is now an Enchantress. Lone Druid Spirit Bear uses actual random stunning for his overgrowth. Medusa Stone Gaze changed. Morana was given a scepter. That is one that we will look at right now. Morana. Alright. So Morana was given a scepter that makes it to where Starstorm triggers passively every so on seconds. 8 seconds is what it says.
Such strength shall be ours.
So, obviously,
Prepare for battle.
Ah, scepter.
if there's no one nearby, it won't trigger. But if there's someone nearby, it'll trigger automatically. It'll apply whatever level of Starfall you have to your creep, to your target. So, that's what that is.
Resonator. Daedalus.
See? I didn't even do that. Now I did it.
Scatter while you can.
So, that adds some new abilities to Morana, making her a little bit more carry potential than she was before. She's not entirely carry potential now. She's more supportive anyway, so...
Forward, pet.
But that makes it to where Starfall, technically, you can get 3 Starfalls going off in a matter of something or so seconds. This also means you could be invis and deal damage as well, which means we're going to buy a Shadow Blade. We're going to wait an extra 12 seconds. Silver's Edge recipe got changed too, by the way. It's now an Ultimate Orb, which is better. I feel like having an Ultimate Orb instead of the main was okay. So... So, that means if you have Ags, Starfall will trigger on top of it. So that means if you do go Invis and you have an Ags, there's no way to disable it. So you have to do it. That means it will give away positions. So an Aghanim Scepter for Morana, this ability in specific, might not have been the best thing that Valve could have added for a hero that is already so underpowered, except for through Ultimate and such. So... obviously, having Starfall trigger even through Invis is something of an issue. So, I'm sure there's going to be ways to counter it out. I'm sure they're going to be like, alright, well, let's turn it off if someone's Invis. So that's what that is. That changed for Morana. Nature's Prophet Treants are worth more gold now. Necro's Reaper Scythe respawn time was changed for the better. Omni Knight, Oracle now has a scepter, and we'll try it out because it's actually really funny. It reduces Purifying Flames cooldown. Oh yeah, another item is the Infused Raindrop. It blocks magic damage for so on and so forth, but only purchasable at level 3. So, it makes it to where Purifying Flames is 1 second cooldown.
Flames of fate. Endure and
So what does that mean exactly? Well, that means if I were to buy an Octarine, it is 75, not even a whole second cooldown.
work through. Oh, they mix with sin. You must push through. I must they mix work through the flames of oh yes, endure. I must yes.
Of course, it doesn't reduce the mana cost or anything, so... Yep.
I trust this helps. Don't say I never gave you anything. That is one thing.
So what does that mean exactly? Well, that means that Oracle has more burst for less power. That's pretty much it. That was pretty much it for Oracle's change.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
So yeah, you could just cast that almost immediately after every time. So what it did is it changed its cooldown to 1 second and lowers the cast point from 0.3 to 0.1. Now the big change that everyone's been looking forward to is the great change to the OD. Now believe it or not, OD was not that heavily changed. Arcane Orb Intelligent Steal was reduced from 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, which means at the very end you're just stealing one less intel at the end of the game. Now what really helped is that Arcane Orb mana increased from 100 to 100, 120, 140 to 160, dealing just enough damage to counter out the mana. So it reduces the pure power, but still OD is very high up there on the meta at the moment. Astral Imprisonment range was also decreased as well, but not really too much. Not much that'll stifle the economy. Phantom Assassin didn't really get a change. Supernova now increases through Ultimate with Aghanim Scepter on Phoenix, increases the amount of hits it needs to be destroyed, making it from originally 5, 8, 11 to 7, 10, 13, which means there needs to be at least 2 to 3 heroes, 2 if you're using an attack speed hero, 2 to 3 heroes that need to be hitting the egg at the time in order for it to actually go down. Next big change, which actually we skip a lot of people until we get to someone that was actually changed heavily, was Ricky. Blink Strike damage being increased from 20, 40, 60, 80 to 60, 80, 100, 120. That means Blink Strike very early is going to deal some very good damage, which is why most people never actually did it. Tricks of the Trade increase cast point from 0.4 to 0.3, and the cooldown was reduced from 40 to 40, 30, 25. Or 40, 35, 30. So that's also another really good thing. Requiem, which is actually Shadow Fiend, his getting an Aghanim Scepter now also increases the amount of souls you can hold in Necromastery, which was from originally 15, 22, 29, 36 to 22, 30, 38, 46, 46 being the cap. And since each one gives, 2 damage per soul, 46, that's a Desolator. So that means Desi, if you go Ags for some reason, can be skipped on Shadow Fiend. Shadow Shaman wasn't really given a lot. Silencer, his last word, no longer slows, and instead Arcane Curse slows. So Arcane Curse is getting a lot of love recently. And the cooldown was increased, though, from 18, 16, 14, 12 to 20, 18, 16, 14. And Glaives of Wisdom now does less overall damage. Now, instead of 90% at the end, is now 80%. Skywrath Mage wasn't really changed. Shrapnel, Sniper got increased damage. Slark wasn't changed. Sniper got increased shrapnel damage, so Shrapnel deals a little bit more damage now from 12, 24, 36, 48 to 15, 30, 45, 60. And then Spectre, another really interesting change. A Spectral Dagger slow no longer goes through spell immunity. Haunt cooldown increased from 120 to 140, 130, 120. Haunt illusions are no longer unstunnable, and her agility growth has been reduced. Now, Storm Spirit was given an Ags. Causes Electric Vortex to be a 171. Causes Electric Vortex to be a 4.
I grew stronger.
There's a lot of people getting Aghanim Scepters nowadays. It causes it to be an AoE. So, there you go. That was loud.
Looking good.
So, that now makes it to where it's an AoE bind. So, that just means that Storm Spirit has a little bit more viability when it comes to disabling people. If someone, again, were to ever go Ags on Storm Spirit, that is. So that's what that is. If it doesn't chain anybody, you don't get suffered from the buff. But of course, you will end up casting the spell.
The
So
spirit moves me.
that's what that is. So Storm Spirit's new edition, maybe a little bit more viable in the new meta to have an AoE 475 stun. So obviously really good. Troll Warlord, his ranged whirling axes cooldown was reduced from 2018 16 14 to 19 16 13 10, which means he has more slow capability when it comes to chasing people, which is good because I loved playing Troll back then when he used to have max fervor stacks. Speaking of which, fervor stacks was increased from 6 to 7. Warlord's kick damage increased from 200 to 350, which means it's actually more viable and has a reduced cooldown from 12 to 8. Tombstone now treats illusions as creeps for hit countdown. Magic missile stun on Vengeful relocated. Poison attack on Viper is no longer unique attack modifier, so that means you could run your Desi or your double slow on Viper if you wanted to. Time lapse now just joins projectiles. Weaver now loses unit collision immediately when casting Sakuchi rather than after fading. Winter Wyvern now has been given an Aghanim Scepter, which we will now go in and talk about momentarily. It causes Arctic Burn to be toggled and drain 40 mana per second, much like Leshrak's ability to do that. So
That feels good.
we will go and get our
Prepare for
Ags. And it now makes it to where it's a toggle ability and you lose mana per second. So basically, I mean, if you have an Aghanim Scepter, you have pretty high attack speed already. But this allows you max flight for minimal mana cost. And max, like, you're out of tower range for this. And originally you have to be right there. In fact, I probably don't even have to be as close as I was. I could be all the way out here.
Winter down upon you.
So, Arctic Burn no longer has cooldown and is a fight or flight capability. So let's just see how far out we can go here. And looks like this is how far we can be while casting continual Arctic Burn. What it'll do, it'll take up 40 mana per second per flight. So obviously you'll be just sitting here destroying somebody's tower and you won't even be near the fight. Of course, when you're out of mana, you will be reconstituted to the ground. But if for some reason you actually have an Ags on your Winter Wyvern, which you never should because Winter Wyverns don't farm.
Watch for winter.
Yeah, there you go. So that was Winter Wyvern's new Aghanim Scepter, allows continual flight, and so on and so forth. Wraith King's Mortal Strike now does critical hit for double the value when attacking non-heroes. So basically, when attacking creeps, it'll deal more damage. So here we go. Non-hero critical being 200, 300, 400, 500. To hero critical is 150, 200, 250, 300. The crit chance still being 15%. And then last but not least, obviously Zeus was not really changed that much. Static field damage reduced from 5, 7, 11% to 4, 6, 8, 10. And static field no longer disables Blink Dagger. So obviously Zeus can't ult. Well, he can ult you, obviously it'll disable it. But Thunder God's Wrath damage reduced from 225, 350, 475 to 225, 325, 425. So those were all the immediate changes on all of the heroes for Dota 2. And obviously my most favorite one that everyone's going to love, obviously with this, Earthshaker is going to become more carry-esque than anyone else in the game at the moment. So it'll be very, very interesting to see Earthshaker used in this very strange way. Obviously, you'll never have to Blink Dagger again, is what's going to be the case. So, again, this is Party Petey. I hope you have enjoyed me showing you the test patch and the new updates to the game. Obviously, I'm not that good at it yet, because otherwise I would have actually done something, like, real. Like, I would have been on, like, an actual test server and stuff and done it there. But, I'm not that good yet. So, we're just gonna have to roll with it, guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed. This is the thing I'm gonna do to send you out. And I think I'm going to pick up an Aether Lens so I can actually deal more damage and kill them. And the Veil. Where's the Veil? There we go. And bam. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time, and I hope to see you for this changing patch. This has been Party PD, and I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, if you like the content that you saw today, there's plenty of other content that's out on our channel. And if you want, you can just go and swing on by, drop us a subscribe, and you'll see our amazing content as more and more gets released. So hopefully you'll do that, and hopefully we will see you come next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.